The Last of Us Episode 2 is finally here, and here are the major differences that the game has versus the show. The episode starts off with a biologist who is studying mycology who is brought into this facility to test out a fungal infection inside a human being that she was completely shocked by. This sets the stage for the world being in danger, and it's not just limited to America, unlike the video game. We also get to see how the fungus spreads through the body with these tendrils inside their bodies, and later in the episode we also see a zombie transferring those tendrils to Tess with a kiss. This is a chilling moment really, because we get to see how fungus actually interacts inside a human body and how it's evolving with those tendrils following the human body. The scientists then suggest a solution that is blowing the whole place up, which is a great solution to save billions, but that doesn't entirely work out, because later in the episode we also get to know how Tess talks about there was bombings in multiple parts of the city, and some places it worked, whereas other places it did not stop the infection. Another thing they changed in the show is how the infection spreads in the world. In the game, the infection is spread by the bite marks or if you inhale the spores. And this show does not have spores. Instead, you can get infected by a bite mark or by transferring those fungus inside someone's body. And it's also mentioned how all these zombies are somehow connected. Scientifically, a fungus is connected to a much longer distance, and that information has been taken into account here. When the fungus is sort of interacted with, all the other zombies get to know your position, and now they charge towards you. The director of this episode, Neil Druckmann, who also directed the games, was actually impressed by Craig's idea because he thought this could be a great gameplay mechanic in the game. As the episode progresses, we get to see the tension between Joel and Tess. Joel is ready to shoot her, while Tess wants to keep her safe and deliver her to the Fireflies. It's an amazing dynamic that we get to see between Tess and Joel, which wasn't quite present per se in the game. We do get to hear dialogues between Tess and Ellie and maybe sometimes Joel, but we didn't have a moment or a cutscene where these two guys are exchanging words about what to do next. The wonderful thing to see were the details in this world, because the daylight brought even more to see. The production quality is insane, the fungal infection looks incredible, and the clickers, my god, they look phenomenal. And speaking of clickers, the way the clickers were presented into the screen was very intense. They were shown a little bit different in the game with the gameplay sequence where you get to know how these clickers operate. However, in the show, they were presented more with a horror movie-like feel. The tension was so palpable as Joel and Tess are trying to take these guys out, and they are literally unable to by missing shots and somehow able to shoot at the head and killing them. Ellie gets bitten by a clicker, which never happened in the game, and this sort of gave Joel an idea of what's really happening with Ellie and why she might be immune. The show ended with the sacrifice of Tess so that Joel and Ellie can move ahead. Unlike the game where we see Federal agents coming towards them, and that's why Tess stayed in so that she can stop them for a little while and allow Joel and Ellie to escape. However, in the show it was not done that way because Craig Mazin, who is the showrunner, talks about how having Federal agents this far doesn't really make sense, and why would they follow them this far into the world? And that's why we get to see zombies coming after them instead. And since we get to see how Joel kills a zombie and there's this tendrils coming up, it kind of gave the location to the zombies where these guys are, and those zombies ran towards them. Overall, the show was a thrilling ride, really intense, and loved the environment and the look of it. The new ideas and perspective brought to the show made it a must-watch for those who played the game and also for newcomers. But what are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments.